Hello everyone and welcome back to Brooksburk Zoo. We are already in episode 16 and Brooksburk Zoo is becoming a really decent big zoo. So let's have a look at not last week's episode, but what we have done in last week's episode. In last week's episode we built a habitat that you guys voted for. You voted for the African penguins. So we did that. We built that little backstage area and here this huge, well, not huge, this long habitat for the African penguins. They seem to be very happy in their habitat, even though there are not as much penguins in there as there could be. I think we have right now like 6 or 8 animals, so 4 breeding pairs, and by time it's going to be more than that, hopefully so. Okay, we're also taking a look at the land area for the birds, and after that we are going to build something completely new. Once again, you guys voted for the next animal. It was some kind of a close call in the first 2 days, I think. Yeah, the first 2 days I think we had a tie between the... Now, first of all, I'm gonna say what animals you could choose of. So, I gave you the option to vote for the Malayan Sun Bear, the Binturong, and the Malayan tapir. As I said, the first 2 days it was a very close call. It was a tie. Really, it was a tie for most of the time, so that you guys voted equally for the Malayan Sun Bear and the Binturong, which I was very excited for, because I thought if this is going to stay a tie, I'm going to do a shared habitat for both, which is not that uncommon. So you see that in many zoos that you have a sun bear habitat and a habitat for the Binturong, which they share with each other. Because the Binturong can hide or climb away if it has enough of the bears, or if it's getting a little bit dangerous for them. So that would have been a great option. But then as time went by, I think we had like 87 votes or so. There was no tie anymore, and it was very clear to see the winner of the whole thing, which were the Malayan Sun Bears. It was close till the end, so it was about 47% of you voted for the Malayan Sun Bear, I think, and it was about 30 something for the Binturong. And so I decided, as it was not that close anymore, just to have a habitat for the Malayan Sun Bear. Yeah, and that is what we are going to do right now. And I have to tell you guys that this zoo is... Let me think, what did we build last? The African penguin, and the episode before it was the gibbons. Okay, this zoo is kind of cursed since the African penguins. I told you guys in the last episode what I wanted to build for the African penguins with the little indoor pool on the inside of their backstage area, which is not seeable for our visitors, but I thought in terms of realism you would have something like this in there, especially when it's too cold outside, or when the penguins are most of the time inside the house, or if you have some of them being sick, you need to have something like a pool in there. But as I told you, it was not possible because of the combination of barriers, entrance gate, water, path and stuff. Everything in there together didn't make it work. So okay, it is what it is. Well, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade out of it, I think. Well, I did not make lemonade out of it, I just did nothing with the indoor pool. Okay, but to come to an end of this story, we have a similar problem in today's episode. and it is once again bears. I have the feeling that I need to say this. Please, Frontier, please fix the bears in this game. First of all, the traversable area of this bears is ridiculous, because you will see what I mean in a few minutes. I did the whole habitat and the terraforming in here and made a really nice, beautiful, and I would also say pretty realistic habitat, because this is something like many of those Malayan Sun Bear habitats in real zoos do look like. So you have many rocks and stuff like that, almost, that is because sun bears are most of the time using habitats that were originally built for bigger bears, like polar bears, grizzlies, and whatever. And as time went by, the zoos came to the conclusion that those habitats are too small for those kind of bears, and what better way to use it next as for the smallest of all the bears that we have, for the sun bear, because the space for them would be quite enough. So that is the story behind this whole habitat as well. I thought this was the former polar bear and grizzly habitat, so that you had the polar bears on the right side of this habitat and the grizzlies on the left side. And as time went by, it was too small, and those bears are not in this zoo anymore. I don't know if we are ever going to have them back in here, but we decided we wanted to have some bears in here, so we decided to have the sun bear and give them both of the habitats. So connect them together and give them both of them. So those habitats usually were built like a concrete desert. So that is what we say, how we say it in German. So a Betonwüste, a desert made out of concrete, so that you don't have any kind of soil or something like that in those areas. And as they get renovated and used for other animals, there's going to be more structure with wood and some dirt and some plants here and there and stuff like that, to make it look a little bit nicer and make it more suitable for the animals. Yeah, so that being said, that was what I was building in here. And here you can already see lots of the fake rock structure that I put down. And in a few minutes we're also going to have some climbing structures and stuff like that in there, some some of the trees, the dead trees and stuff like that. And in the end, the bears, first of all, the bears were not able to leave their shelter. That was first problem. So once again, the hitbox of the bears was ridiculously big, even though they are the smallest bears that we do have in the game and the smallest bears that do exist. The hitbox is ridiculously big. So I changed that, made the doors bigger so that they could walk out of the habitat. Next thing was, they couldn't reach anything in the habitat, because all of these rock structures that I do have in here were way too steep for the bears. So remember that. Sun bears are known for being great climbers. And in this game they are not even able to step a little tiny bit over a rock, which is ridiculous. So once again, Frontier, please fix our bears. That being said, it was a whole lot of work afterwards, as I finished the whole habitat to get back in there and change things and make things not that steep so that the bears actually could use the majority of the habitat, which is still not enough space for 2 Malayan Sun Bears. That is, yeah, once again, ridiculous. Okay, but let's have a look what I'm doing here, what I'm going to change a little bit later. Yeah, I built the climbing structures, therefore I used some of those dead trees, because that is something that you do see in sun bear habitats in real zoos. They often have those dead trees and lots of wooden pieces in there for them to climb and to chill out and stuff like that. And that is what I wanted to have in here as well. So trying to not overdo it, not to have too much of the stuff in here, but yeah, not just like for the gibbons, because those bears do climb, but they don't climb all of the time. So I wanted to have some decent amount of climbing stuff in here. Yeah, and I think after this habitat is finished, I want to make the connection for the space that we do have between the gibbon habitat and the Brooksburk barn, our restaurant. So there is, yeah, lots of free space in there, and I just don't know what to do with it. Because I don't want to block the view completely if I put something down there for our guests, so they can have a nice view when they are sitting in a restaurant and looking outside the window. Right now there is this free space right before them, and then afterwards there is the gibbon habitat. Yeah, if you guys have any idea, I would love to, as we do have the sun bears in here and the gibbons, to have some kind of Asian species in there. Unfortunately, we don't have the black buck or the Nilgai antelope, which would be a perfect match to put in there, because that would be such a nice view for our guests to see those antelopes and gazelles walk by when they are having their food in the restaurant. But yeah, we don't have them, and I have a hard time thinking about another animal, because yeah, what would make sense, for example, is the babirusa, but as I told you guys, I don't think it is great if we have yet another species of pig in the zoo, because yeah, Brooksburk Zoo should not be known as the pig zoo. Yeah, so maybe, what do you guys think about the dhole? That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense, I think. Yeah, I'm going to have a look at the Zoopedia and have a look at what animals we actually do have for the Asian continent, and then I think I'm going to do another poll so that you guys can decide which animal should go in there. Yeah, so here I wanted to connect the viewing platform with the viewing area for our penguins. So I decided I would have something like a glass wall in there where you can come really close to the bears if they want to, and have this feeder right in front of it as well as this tree where they can scratch their backs. So I was hoping that the bears would walk right towards our visitors, so that they can come close to the animals and have a better look at them. Yeah, lots more rocks and rocks and rocks and rocks. which I will be, yeah, very mad about in a few minutes, I think. Yeah, but in the end, when you have a look at the habitat, in the end, it really looks nice and okay. So yeah, not that bad. But yeah, it's just not what I wanted to create. So I think after this we are going to have like 3 or maybe 4 more habitats before we connect the path again to our main path in front of the restaurant. So I'm very excited for that, because then there is another huge part of this zoo finished. And I really do like how the whole thing looks right now. And I just have to make sure that I have lots more free spaces in there, because the thing that I don't like right now is that these habitats for the animals are too close to each other. So you have the path, and there is a habitat on the left side, and there is a habitat on the right side, and you don't have any free spaces in between. So I'm very scared that this area is also going to be a little bit cramped. I always try to put the habitats like that, that you actually don't necessarily have one habitat in your back when you are watching an animal, like the sun bears right now, that you don't have the habitat for the gibbons in the back. But in this area it was not really possible. So I'm trying to take care of that a little bit more in the future, because that was something that I told you guys a few episodes before, that I'm always trying to make sure that you don't have one animal right and one animal left, so that you always can focus on one side and one side only. So I broke with that rule, and I'm going to make sure that I don't break with that rule anymore in the future. And I also do think that we will have some more of the smaller animals in this area, because I don't want to have some kind of a big animal apart from the main path of the zoo, because those paths that we do have here are a little bit smaller. So we will have lots of problems when there's too much guests walking around here. So I'm going to to save those big animals like elephants, rhinos, maybe giraffes, and big cats or something like that for another area close to the main path, so that we won't have any problem with our visitors when they are all running towards the most famous animals. Right now I think the most popular animal in this zoo is still the gibbon. Don't know if it changed now that we have the sun bear in here, but I do believe that it is still the gibbon. Which might be a problem, because as I said, the gibbon is in this, don't know how to say it, in the smaller path area, which is not good when you have the most popular animal in those kind of areas. Yeah guys, when you see this video on Monday the 29th, it must be, and then this is going to be the last video that I did when I was unemployed. So I'm starting with my new job on Thursday. Thursday is going to be my first day in the new job, and I don't know yet if I will be able to have a new Brooksburk video every Monday, because I just don't know how stressful the job is going to be and how much time I'm going to spend in the office, and yeah, so I can't guarantee you that. I'm doing my best to provide you a new episode every Monday, but yeah, as I said, I can't guarantee that. And I always want to make sure that I give you great content, so that I'm putting lots of effort in what I'm doing, so that you guys will see something new in every episode. And I don't want to rush things and just build something just to have some video out on Monday. That is not the way that I work. So as I said, hopefully I will be able to provide you with a new video every Monday, but I can't guarantee that. Okay, so here I was building a fake door. Because as I said in the past, this was the left habitat from this view here was for the polar bears, and the right habitat was for the grizzlies, and now they are all connected together, so it would make sense that you have this this separate doors in there. And as I don't want to have another entrance gate, and I can't have another entrance gate in here, I faked one. I faked it poorly because I didn't put down everything that you can see on the left one, but I think it does its job perfectly. Yeah, and some heavy fencing in there as well, as you might see that in an actual bear habitat or an indoor enclosure for the bears in any kind of zoo. The next thing was some enrichment items and those water pipes. Some bedding in the inside. So putting down those water pipes on the inside and the bedding to make sure that the bears actually use the inside. Right now they can only use the left one of those, because on the right one still the entrance is too small for the bears, so I'm going into that before the next episode, I think, doing that off screen so that they can use everything, and maybe going into the habitat as well to change things a little bit, because right now they, as I said, they can only use about let's say 60% of the habitat. Yeah, I think it's about 60 or 50% of the habitat, which is sad, because the habitat is so big and they have so many enrichment things in there that they actually could use, and yeah, they are just not able to, because as you guys all know, bears can't climb. Bears can't climb, and if you are out in the nature, maybe in Canada or wherever there's bears, make sure that there's rocks right close to you, so if you get attacked by a bear, you can jump on that rock and that bear would not be able to reach you. Well, that was obviously a joke, because this doesn't work in nature, but in Planet Zoo it would work. So doing some indoor stuff, putting down those yellow lines just to showcase or just to make sure that the keepers don't cross the line, because that would be the reachable area for the bears, so that they don't get hurt. They are not allowed, or they have to take care if they are crossing that yellow line. Some backstage material, once again, not too much, not too crazy, just to make sure there is something inside here. A little bit of air conditioning as well. Yeah, and just a few windows so that we do have a little bit of light in here, and then we are already done with our backstage area. Which in time is a little bit exhausting to build all those backstage areas, because you can only do so much, and you have to have a backstage area for almost every animal. So I can't think about any animal that we would have here in the zoo that doesn't need a backstage area, because you will always have something like a shelter, stable or something like that for all of the animals, no matter if they are big or small or stuff like that. You always need something like that. And as I said, it is a little bit exhausting to do that as well in every episode, because I love to build habitats for the animals, but I'm not that much in love with building backstage areas. Even though I think I'm not too bad at it, if I might say that. Yeah, just putting down some more of these fake rock walls to make it look a little bit nicer. Yeah, and also having this gate here for the backstage area, so that our guests won't walk towards the bears. Yeah, and I think we are going to have some kind of a planting area next to that afterwards, so that gives us a little bit more air to breathe and actually a little bit more room to plan out the whole new habitats in the next episodes. Oh, and guys, I have just one more question. So when we are doing those polls, like we did for the African penguin and now for the sun bears, I have a question. So if one animal gets picked from you guys, what should happen with the other two? Should we give them a second chance, maybe somewhere else in the park, or do you say no, we voted for animal A or animal B and we don't want animal B or C in the park at all? So that would mean Binturong and Malayan tapir would be completely out, as well as the meerkat and I think it was the fennec fox. I'm not quite sure what the other two options for the poll with the African penguin have been. So yeah, just tell me what should happen with those. because I was thinking about having a binturong habitat somewhere else in here. But if you guys say no, we voted for the sun bear and the binturong lost, he has no room in this zoo, I'm quite okay with that. Just let me know in the comments. Well, we are already at the end of the video. Here you can see the sun bear habitat that I fixed. You can already see the bears use it. We're going to have a look at the animals and the whole habitat. I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did so, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join me next Monday once again in Brooksburk Zoo, where we are going to build our next installment. And I'm excited for what it would be, because right now I don't have a clue, and so do you. Okay guys, take care and see you next time. Bye!
Mm-hmm.